Not only does Deathly Daggers get the same upgrade that all the other dagger users have, but it has something extra since it's a legendary weapon for Jaffar. Greetings and salutations, my name is Deltran, helping you build killing machines so you can dominate in PvP and in special hero maps, and if you want help earning all the orbs, feathers, sacred coins, arena medals, and heroes this game throws at you every week, consider subscribing. In the Refined Heroes series, we go over heroes that have had their legendary weapons upgraded via the Weapon Forge. Now, using this, you get to choose from different options. One of them, of course, is a new special ability on that weapon. So we're going to evaluate that special ability, compare it to just the other generic upgrade options, and see where that takes us. Today we're doing Jaffar. Does this upgrade make him relevant? Does it make it so you can actually bring him into PvP, or is he a little lackluster? Let's find out. Let's get his digits real quick. He doesn't have any impressive scores, but the one good thing to note is that he does get a super boon in attack and in defense. So if one of those are your boons, that's great. Doesn't look like he has any super banes, so that's even better. But when it comes down to it, as you're going to see, attack is super important to us. As far as what he comes with, Deathly Dagger, that's why we're here to talk about the refinements to that. Otherwise, you also probably know him as life and death fodder, so that's primarily the skill a lot of them come equipped with. You could also take a look here and you see his Glimmer, but I mean otherwise this is what we're looking for. Now on to the upgrades. As I mentioned already, every dagger, not just Deathly Dagger, gets a wonderful upgrade whenever it goes into the Forge. To the degree is a little bit different, but in Jaffar's case, he gives -7 defense and resistance to the target and everybody around whenever he does that hit. So everybody is already at a disadvantage, which is wonderful, but we need a little bit more. And of course, he has the standard buffs that you would see with all dagger users. +1 to attack, +2 to speed, +3 to defense or resistance. His special, because he is a legendary dagger, is where he can hit magic users and not get hit back. This is wonderful. I absolutely love it. Of course, Deathly Dagger also gets a buff on its extra damage it does. It does poison damage to the target of 10, and then damage like that all the way around. This is better than Savage Blow 3. This is like Savage Blow 4? 4.5? I don't know, something like that. It's pretty exciting. But this is going to actually make a good case for a lot of people to look at Jaffar and say, you know, maybe I could do something with that. Well, let's take a look and see how he actually performs. And honestly, this first build here is what a lot of people are going to want to do for fun anyway. We see that we have Poison Strike, we have Savage Blow on it, we have Aether just for arena points, but I will get back to that point in just a moment. And now, if you take a look at this build, it's not that potent. I mean, like, the bump that we're getting from the dagger is only 1 damage, so I mean, we're not killing that many people. We're only killing, like, not even 30 as of time recording people without any buffs. Yeah, all vanilla units. That's not a lot. And for a unit that you want to be a supporting unit, it's actually very important, if you want to bring him into arena, that he be able to kill something. So him being able to kill not even 30 units out of 190, 200 units in the game as of recording, that's not good. A lot of them are magic users, but when it comes down to it, we don't necessarily care about killing a magic user, and I can explain why in just a moment. Take a look at his DPT, 2 and 6. Okay, so he's not dying to everything whenever he initiates anyway. That's wonderful, but I mean, really, 2? You can only kill 2 people in the DPT? I understand the DPT is best of the best. It is completely crazy builds that you would find in high tier arena. But seriously, S? No one actually runs S. She's only in the DPT because she's actually on a credible tier list. And, I mean, Deirdre, I mean, no one runs her, which is unfortunate. So that's almost like another miss right there. So you practically can't kill anyone. And this is a problem, because if you move Jaffar up to hit somebody, you're going to go ahead and smack them down, and it's hilarious to see how low a hit points everybody has. I mean, take a look at this, okay? Have you ever seen the beginning of Spaceballs, where like that ship just keeps on coming and coming? That's like what all those ones are doing. In a moment, you're gonna see that the damage is not gonna go down to 1 here in a moment. It's gonna go to like 2 or something like that, and then you're gonna see it cycle back to 1, where we're starting to show people who have been who can damage Jaffar, and then he still is able to attack and retaliate on him. So I mean, when it comes down to it, Jaffar actually has some bulk. He's saved quite a lot because of the fact he can't get hit by mages. A lot of the mages are going to outspeed him and kill him, so that is wonderful that he can actually do that attack on him whenever he's initiating. But you see, we're not killing anybody, but wow. I mean, after that hit, and then you deal 20 poison damage. from the dagger, and from our B slot. That's a lot of damage. Very few people are above half anymore on this list. As a matter of fact, I can only think of one without actually looking, and that would be Arden. And once again, no one runs Arden, which is also a shame. But that's the thing, so many people are still alive on the field after Jaffar throws his dagger. So then you need to either, this is where the awkwardness comes in, you need to move somebody up one and hope that the other person on the other side isn't a ranged person who can take out Jaffar. Which is possible, which means the person you put up here can be a tank. I mean, that person's going to have like 1 hit point likely. If anything, you look at those numbers over there and you realize that even a crappy tank can usually take out pretty much anybody that was left on that list with that hit point total. So you just make sure you move somebody over Jaffar and you take them out. And you just pray to every flying spaghetti monster you know that you don't get ganked. That's not a great strategy. Let's take a look at what he looks like whenever we bump him up with a plus attack boon. He more than doubles what he was killing before. That's good, at least in vanilla units. If we transition real quick over to the DPT, we see that we're doing more than double there, but you know, we're doing 2, now we're doing 5. Yeah, it's not wonderful. Those are the matchups there, so there's some wiggle room there, and there's only a couple people that are still killing us whenever we initiate. So there's a lot of people who are standing there, super low hit points, and here's the other thing. You're dealing 17 damage to everybody around. There's only 2 units in the game as of recording that are going to have quick riposte thresholds after that, and one of them is Arden. So once again, who cares? And besides, you're never giving quick riposte to Arden anyway, not with follow-up rank. So you have to have an alpha striking team on a Jaffar that has plus attack in order for him to be viable in Arena. Of course, we can buff him. I'm just going to do a couple of buffs that a lot of people tend to see in Arena, which one of them really is Lucina. And with Brave Lucina, yeah, we get a good ratio here. You're looking at 12 and 5 on initiation. That's a lot better. There's a lot more faces there. Heck, I had to have a second card to show you how many faces there are. If you just do a vanilla hone attack, which you're not going to find too often in high-level Arena, unless it's attached to somebody like Ephraim or something like that, he does really well with that too. Not as good as with Lucina, but you know, you take what you can. And this comes into the rest of the problem with Jaffar, since he needs so much support in order to actually kill something so that he can kill the unit that's directly in front of him, and that's important if it's ranged especially. You need to have a very specialized team around him. You really have to say, okay, I want to take Jaffar into Arena, and here's everybody else. And what's worse, you notice I have Aether on this build? I have Aether on this build because that's the only way you could get close to getting 700 points worth of him in the Arena. As a matter of fact, without merges, I don't think it's possible, and to still have an area damage build like this. You could throw away Savage Blow and actually start to bump him up, and there's a couple other things you could do instead of having him have Hardy Bearing as his seal, which is what I've been recommending this whole time. You could go with something that's a little more potent. You could also go with Swift Sparrow for the A slot, and that's going to give you just a little bit of bump. If you do all of this, it ruins his kill potential, it ruins the safety net he has, it ruins his area damage that you're looking for at this build, which might not be what you want to do, but then again, maybe you should look at one of the other options then. And once you get into that, then that means you finally could get to like 700 points worth of Jaffar before merges. It's not a lot. That'll get you to tier 20. It's not going to keep you in tier 20. You need to really, really bootstrap him up with the other units if you want to stay competitive in tier 20. But before that, he's awesome. In PvE, he's so much fun. Just, I don't know how many Grand Hero battles and Bound Hero battles I've had where all the enemies cluster up if you do the wrong thing, because that's usually not what you want to do unless you're trying to block into different funnels. Well, Jaffar is just like, oh, yeah, sure, I'll take that one, and you guys take the rest. And it would just be over. So it is so much fun, and I've said it every time I recommend Savage Blow. Savage Blow is just fun. It really is. Watching everybody get pelted with damage is great. The team has to be so specialized around him. If you're trying to be uber competitive with him, you're going to need to have a horse behind him. You're going to need to have another ranged user somewhere, ideally, and that ranged user needs to be someone who's a little bit tanky. And the thing is there's no high point value tanks necessarily. I mean, you could do something with Merrick. I mean, there's Merrick, there's Bowie, there's Deirdre. But you know what? You already have Jaffar on your team. You already have a point sink right there. Having another ranged user on your team is usually a little dicey as far as points are concerned. But having somebody like that could step in front of Jaffar, nuke somebody far away, and then take a hit, whether hopefully if you matched it up right with Bowie and with Merrick, you could take a melee. With Deirdre, you're taking a magical. But when it comes down to it, that's just a lot of ask, and that's not. And I've mentioned, you need a horse, you need a ranged person. I didn't even talk about making sure that you have counters for several other arena threats. You had the correct buffs for Jaffar. I mean, unfortunately, as far as PvP goes, he's just so needy. For someone who scowls all the time, I don't get it. I don't get it. So in the end of the day, if you're not looking to get to tier 20, if you are happy bouncing around between 18 and 20 because that's where the 4 orbs are and you get decent feathers from it, that's awesome. You know what? Jaffar's going to do really well because especially in the lower part of that, no one has anything that's going to hurt Jaffar. And the people who have Raventome builds, it doesn't matter. You're not getting retaliated on from magic. So you could go ahead and just spike them and you're not going to die. It's great. To mention splash damage doesn't get mitigated by it, so who cares? Jaffar's other refinery upgrades, by the way, are really nice for him, and it'll let you go into other builds, but I thought this was the most important build to talk about because, one, it gets rid of several things in the arena that are problematic, mainly quick riposte spam. That is so terrible right now in arena, and Jaffar can get around it rather well, but in the end of the day, he's just not going to be viable for the very, very high-end stuff, which is where you're going to find all of the bulkiest stuff, all the armor emblem that has everybody with distant counter and quick riposte, or steady breath and quick riposte. And so, I mean, you're not going to use them there. Mind you, this doesn't mean that I'm not going to be upgrading my Jaffar. I'm still really excited about it because it's just so much fun. There are times that I like to play a game for fun, but he doesn't have a home on my PvP team. Looks like that's all the time we got today. So what do you think? Let me know down in the comments. Have you built this hero yet already? What do you think about the analysis here? What have you seen out in the field? I would love to know. And do me a favor, if you like your Fire Emblem information hot and fresh like Grandma's cookies, hit that subscribe button. My name is Deltran. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate all of you. And until next time, take it easy.